of you have seen this bird before? Well, a few of you might have. This amazing bird is called mud parakeet. This is one of the most common and iconic birds of Buenos Aires. And also the first wall parrot I've ever seen in my life. It's interesting to know that parrots can only be seen in one place in China, which is where I originally come from. This is one of the reasons why I feel so lucky to stay in a place where these glorious creatures are everywhere. According to a report written by BirdLife International in 2004, China has a population of 1.4 billion. Yet, only 20,000 of them watch birds. And I'm a part of that 0.01% of people in my native homeland. By definition, birding is the practice of observing birds in the wild, usually with a set of binoculars, a notebook, and a field guide. I remember the day when I was introduced to the idea of birding and how insane it was to me. Driving up a narrow dirt lane on the side of a cliff and risking the possibility of falling down and hiking for 2 hours just to see a bird that most people confuse with chicken? Why would bird watchers do such crazy things just to see an ordinary bird? Standing here, I would like to tell you how birding had changed my life and how it evolved into a global movement that impacts the world. For my first birding class, I was taken to a pond. At first glance, it was a pond that contains no sign of life. After all, it was just a pond, nothing special, right? Someone tapped me on my shoulder and pointed to a blue dot on the center of the pond. I raised my binocular for the first time in my life, focused on the blot. Through that binocular, the bird's metallic blue spotted head glowed under the sun. Its back was cobalt, and I could see this greenish reflection under sunlight. I was stunned by the amazing color pattern of this kingfisher. And no words can depict the elegance and beauty that I was witnessing. At that moment, I realized how many amazing moments like this I missed because no one told me before that birds were such brilliant creatures. And at that moment, I decided to dedicate my time to birding because this is such an amazing way to get to know these creatures that are often overlooked by people. Time went by, and the list of birds I've seen grew longer and longer. And I got the chance to see some of the most special birds in the wild. This colorful chicken-like bird is called Cabot's tragopin. This is a rare bird of southeast China, and it's usually hidden in the deep forest, and is extremely sensitive to any sound and noise. I was in an obscure mountain temple in the mountain area of southern China, hoping to see this bird. I stayed motionless for 2 hours in a black tent made of used cloth with a hole so I could see outside, until I heard the loud noise of firecrackers that had been ignited by the monks in the temple. At that moment, I thought I was never going to see this bird again, because they can be scared away by any noise. But I didn't give up. I traveled hundreds of miles, and that was the only chance that I had. Time was slipping, and the sun was about to disappear in the horizon. 10 minutes. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 50 minutes of waiting. Still no sign of any bird. The night almost came when something quietly emerged. There it was, a female Cabot's tragopin, quite plain-colored and ordinary, right? But I didn't feel disappointed at all. Instead, I was thrilled, and I can tell you that this is definitely one of the most satisfying moments in my life, because the time and energy I put in finally paid off. Now, I have to admit that not every birding trip I had ended up with a bird as special as a tragopin. But birding, to me, had already gone beyond what I can see. It helped me to become more aware of the things around me. I acquired the ability to distinguish some bird only by its sound, behavior, and even flight patterns. It taught me to be persistent and patient. It rewarded me when I finished my research, and it always surprises me when I think nothing special would happen. And I'm more happy and energetic than ever because of that. This photo that I took showed one of the 5 river terns I saw in Yunnan province, China, 3 months ago. They are found in inland waters and they breed in less accessible areas, such as sandbanks near rivers. It was both saddening and striking when I heard that I saw all of the 5 remaining river terns in China. They have been categorized as nearly endangered, and the number of river terns in China had declined over the past 4 years from 13 to only 5. In the same area, I was fortunate enough to find one of the most enigmatic inhabitants of the rainforest, the great hornbill. Not to mention its fascinating appearance. There are countless stories that I want to tell you about this 1-meter-long giant fruit eater. They live in the holes left by the woodpeckers, and they are the indicators of the environment. As ancient forests thrive under deforestation caused by humans, the number of great hornbills had declined significantly. Just like the river terns, they're classified as nearly endangered as well. As I know more and more about the birds around me, I was shocked to find out that some of the most stunning birds I've seen are at risk of being endangered. We all want to protect what we love and what we think is beautiful. And that is exactly what birders are doing. Thanks to the bird watchers around the world, we're able to build one of the most powerful communities worldwide. We started an unprecedented movement called bird preservation. The information we collected from our birding trip, including the location, number, and species of birds, forms a data bank that is extremely valuable for scientists who study the distribution of one specific bird. Phone applications such as eBird and iNaturalist allow me to upload detailed information of every field trip. These all allow me to become civil scientists that help real scientists to acquire valuable data. And the greatest achievement is that some birds that were thought to be extinct were found again by bird lovers. And there's more than that. Because of the rapid development of birding industry, now there are more bird sanctuaries. Farmers who are killing birds are now setting up new observation spots to attract birders worldwide. These all help endangered species such as great hornbill to be stabilized again. But I didn't stop there. In order to promote the idea of birding, I set up a birding club in China, attracting more than 50 students to watch birds around campus each week. I published 2 volumes of birding magazines in Chinese as the main editor, each with more than 500 copies, and some had been sold to cities all around the country. These all made my life much more meaningful and colorful than before. Over the past 4 years, I've seen almost 500 species of birds. But that's only a fraction of more than 10,000 birds in the world. But I believe that the numbers are not that important. What really matters is what birding has taught me, which is to see the ordinary in extraordinary ways. If I can only give you one piece of advice tonight, that would be it. Don't miss what's around you and pay attention to it. You'll feel lucky for being here because you can spot so many things that only exist in one specific area that people in other parts of the world might never get the chance to see for their whole life. The passion of exploring the world will be cultivated in your mind and forms memories that will never perish away. Finally, people who appreciate and value the same thing will get together and change the world. For me, the passion of birding had changed me in many ways, and I use my action to help make contributions to preserving the most beautiful creatures in the world. Yet, it all started with a kingfisher. So, When you're walking around Buenos Aires someday and you see a flock of mama parakeets, you'll know how simply pay attention can change the world. Thank you.